So this is kind of an unusual question. How's been your experience with our interview process? I mean, does it really relate to the job? No, not really. It's a lot of times it's being used as small talk, actually, just as you're maybe walking to the office or something. They're just kind of chatty, but it's common enough that you got to be aware for it and ready for it. By the way, how has been your experience? It's been terrific. Even if it hasn't, it's been good. Right? You don't want to kind of volunteer things like, yeah, I interviewed with Jean and boy, she was a dolt, or I talked to Tommy and he just didn't seem to be a very good interviewer. I don't think I had a good interview with him. It's not about that. And that's not what the interviewer is looking for too. They're really just looking for confirmation on the process, maybe get a little bit of small talk, getting you relaxed, and maybe getting a little insight too, especially if it's a senior manager. They want to know that the folks in their downstream or below them are maybe doing some good interviews as well. So that you don't have to do their job for them, by the way. They can always sit in an interview if they're worried about that. You want to give them reasons that it was good or what you've learned from the process. And that's the biggest emphasis I would have for this question, is to talk about, what, the process has been good and I really enjoyed this part and this is what I learned, and maybe something that you can then even ask a follow-up question on. So here's a quick example. I tell you, it's been a great process so far. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity to talk with both Tom and John and Jane. I really learned a lot from them. I hope they'll ask me lots of questions, and I hope they learned a lot about me, but I really learned a lot about the organization, which has been really terrific, and I'm very excited about the position, more so than ever, and I really see that I can really make a great contribution and fit with this organization. So it's been a great process, and I'm glad I'm going through it and want to keep going. All right, so you see there, short, sweet, didn't get a whole bunch of detail, didn't talk about that Jane's office smelled or something like that. You didn't get any of that stuff. Just like, process has been good. This is what I learned. Maybe what I could have done is thrown a tidbit. Like, I really liked when Tom talked about how the XYZ product worked. That was exciting. Or I liked when Jane took me on a tour and I got to meet a lot of people. Throw in those specifics as well as a good thing. But, it's more of a matter of, process is good. I'm excited about the process. I'm excited about how I can make a contribution, and I want to keep going forward and being very thankful that I get to talk with you today. So with any of these kind of interview questions, good to keep practicing them a little bit, because you might get asked this question in different ways, just like the other questions, and it gives you some ammunition as far as being ready to answer these questions in a variety of ways.